Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Baki Sikhale and I am back with yet another true crime case. Let's dive right into it. Now in today's case, we'll be discussing the story of Noluvuyo Ndema, who was born on the 19th of October in the year 1984 in Mthatha, which is in the East London, to parents Brenda and Mpendulo. Now, Noluvuyo was the first of 6 siblings with 4 sisters and a brother. She grew up in a very close, tight-knit family. She was known to be very bubbly as well as very talkative. Now, Noluvuyo attended Transkei Primary School. She then later moved to Baysville Skills School and completed her high school years. Now, upon completing her high schooling years, Noluvuyo then found a job at a local spa where it is that she worked as a cashier. It is at this time when Noluvuyo then met a man who goes by the name of Ndema, and the couple basically just hit it off. They fell in love, and when Noluvuyo was only just 23 years old, they then decided to get married. Now, just shortly after it is that they got married, Noluvuyo's husband Ibanati then suggested that the couple move to Buttersworth, but this would mean that Noluvuyo would have to leave her job at Spar. But because they're newlyweds and they're basically starting a new life together, she then left her job at Spar and they then relocated. Now, Noluvuyo then decided to further her studies at King Hinsati College. My apologies guys if I've mispronounced that. And at this point, the couple had already had 2 beautiful baby girls. Now, to have a better life for her family and for her children, she then after decided to enroll in an educare course, which she did excellently in. Now, she was then able to get a job as a teacher and things were looking up for her. However, in her marriage, things were not looking so good because it is at this point when Ibanati then became very physically abusive. Now, Noluvuyo thought that, you know what, maybe because the traveling long distances to go and to teach is adding a strain onto her marriage. So then she then decided to go and study for a caregiving course, which would then land her a job in a clinic that was at least much closer to home. The abuse, however, only got worse because it is stated that he would pull her hair. He once burnt her with boiling water. She was expecting her 3rd child at some point, which she unfortunately miscarried because Ibanati hit her in the tummy with a steel bar. She then decided to alert her family and a police case was then opened together with a protection order against her husband. Shortly after though, this was withdrawn as the couple then decided to try and to fix their marriage. Now, the abuse did not stop after this, as it is alleged that after Ibanati would beat her up, he would buy her gifts, and she really just wanted a better life for her children as she had grown up with a mother and a father, and she just wanted for her children to have the same life. Now, on the 1st of July in the year 2019, at around 7 o'clock in the morning, yet another altercation had taken place, and this is when Noluvuyo had basically told her husband that she is leaving the marriage. Now, on the 3rd of July 2019, Ibanati then went to the police station to open a missing persons report. He states that on the 1st of July, the couple did have an altercation. However, just after the altercation, Noluvuyo got into a silver Toyota Corolla. She was dressed in her work uniform, so he had assumed that she was on her way to work. However, she had not come back until the date of the 3rd, which is when he's opening the police report. He also then contacted her family and he was very, very worried, and also stated that he would be coming to her family's home just to explain what it was that had happened on the 1st and how it is that he has no idea where she is. Now, the police report was opened and the search was underway to try and to find Noluvuyo. At this point, days went by, weeks went by, months went by, and at this point, over a year had at least went by with nothing from her, no trace. Nobody knew where she was, but her family was becoming a bit suspicious. One of her sisters had constantly ask Ibanati where it is that her sister was, because she felt that he definitely would know where it is that she is. The family was getting strange dreams. Noluvuyo's mom was unable to eat. The family just felt that something foul had just happened. Now, shortly after that, a woman's body was found in a field and it was decomposed. And so then Noluvuyo's family was asked to come through, just to identify the body. However, upon arrival and seeing the decomposed body, Ibanati was very adamant that this was not Noluvuyo's body, which Her family found to be strange because how would he know that that is not her body, because that body was decomposed, and at this point only DNA could prove that it wasn't her, right? And so DNA did take place and did prove though that it was not her body. Now, Ibanati would constantly call Noluvuyo's family with different stories, saying that, oh no, she was spotted at a tavern, but I just got there too late. By the time I got there, she was gone. Or no, she was spotted in Joburg with another man, and apparently she's pregnant, So he was basically just leading her family on to believe that she was still alive, but she's always spotted like in just these different places with other men or pregnant, etc. Now, at this point, Noluvuyo's kids had moved in with Noluvuyo's parents, just for stability, because obviously their mom was missing and there was just so much going on with that. And so then their father, Ibanati, asked if he could please see them for the holidays, of which Noluvuyo's parents did not see anything wrong with this, because, they were his kids and of course they can go and visit their father. Now, the holidays had then arrived, and Noluvuyo and Ibanati's kids then went over to visit their father, as well as some of Ibanati's cousins. Older cousins had went to also visit together with the kids. And so I get different reports on this, but the cousins had actually realized that the bathtub was either not there or it was there, but it was placed very strangely. And the kids also found this to be strange because when they were still living there with their mother and their father, the bathtub was placed like in a proper place, and now all of a sudden the bathtub is either missing or is placed is there, but it looks strange, like it's not evened out. So I'm not too sure which of the two stories is the most accurate, whether or not the bathtub was missing and not there completely, or if it was still there but it just looked misplaced. Now, Ibanati's cousins then decided to ask him, like, dude, what's happening with the bathtub? Of which Ibanati never really gave a clear story. Every time he'd have a different story. He said that there was a storm and something happened with the bathtub. But Ibanati's cousins were not at ease with the story and everything that was going on. And so then the holidays were over and everyone went back home. And this is when Ibanati's cousins decided to go to Noluvuyo's home and alert her parents that, something is up with the bathtub. They're not too sure what's happening, but it just doesn't feel right. And Noluvuyo's kids were also able to attest that no, the bathtub does not look the way that it looked when we were still staying there with mom and dad. Now, her parents then went over to the police to alert the police of what it was that was told to them, and they then had a search warrant to go over to the property and to, further investigate this. Upon their arrival as well, they also started to dig, as the place was also covered with like brand new tiles and cement. Now, Ibanati also volunteered to help the police start digging. However, shortly after the digging had started, they then discovered Noluvuyo's bag. And Noluvuyo's bag was discovered together with her wallet, as well as the lower part of her legs were placed on top of her. Now, because she was tall, it was difficult to bury her corpse in one piece, so her legs were cut off and placed on her chest. Now, upon this discovery, Ibanati was then arrested as well. An autopsy was then performed, and Noluvuyo's cause of death was then determined to be a fractured neck. This was at least 2.5 years later after she was, reported missing. And at this point, as I had already stated, her husband was arrested and they were able to have a funeral service for her. Now, he was then found guilty on 5 charges relating to murder. I'm having quite some trouble, finding out how it is that the sentencing went and how much of a sentence he was given or how many years he was given. But that is the story of Noluvuyo, guys. Let me know what it is that you think in the comments. I think this is one of the stories that are quite disturbing, in the sense that he literally buried her in their home, like under the bathtub or where the bathtub was. Like, he continued on for 2.5 years, not only to mislead her family, but to live with her in the house, or to live with her corpse in the house. And I think that's so sickening. Like, that's just no. Anyway, guys, let me know what other cases you would like for me to cover. I will see you next time. Stay kind. Bye.